Hey everyone, great to see you back here on the channel. My name is Rob. This is the Movie Vault where we usually talk about movies. Today we are talking about music. I have this awesome Van Halen a visual biography book here to talk to you guys about. So let's get into the video. So I sent this awesome book, Van Halen a visual biography, from the good people at Wymer Publishing. This is written by Martin Popov, and you may say to yourself, Rob, didn't you speak about him and Wymer Publishing before? I did when I reviewed Tin Lizzy a visual biography. This is an awesome book. Same kind of deal here with both of these books, except this is Van Halen. If you're interested in checking out my video on the Tin Lizzy book, link is up in this corner or down in the description. Let's get back to this Van Halen book. Wymer Publishing, as I mentioned, and Martin Popov writes this one again. Martin does a fantastic job. The Tin Lizzy book was awesome, and so is this one. I have some Van Halen vinyl here behind me. I have the debut album, and I have 1984. I will kind of mention, like, I'm not a huge Van Halen fan. I know of their stuff. Some of their stuff, I'm not overly familiar with it, but this book kind of changed all that, and it's a really great book here to have in your collection. Just a quick couple of notes before we talk more about the book. This is a hardback limited edition of only 1,000 copies, so if you are interested in getting this, guys, I will have the link in the description so you can pick up a copy of this one straight away. This is coming out pretty soon. I want to say this is coming out the week after this video goes up on my channel. The introduction and the kind of the end of the book was rewritten the day after Eddie Van Halen passed away, sadly. So the book is kind of really up to date in terms of that happening, Eddie Van Halen passing away. As I mentioned, I had a limited knowledge on Van Halen going into reading this book. The book has the perfect amount of like details and info and photos, once again, to expand your knowledge if you're not overly familiar with Van Halen. And if you are a fan of Van Halen, this is going to have everything you want to see in here with the photos and the ticket stubs and t-shirts and memorabilia. All that sort of good stuff is in here, as we've seen before in that Tin Lizzy book. So we'll just have the book set aside here. It's quite big, it's quite heavy, so let me just leave it there while I talk to you guys about the book here. Intertwined Paths of Van Halen, David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. I found really interesting it early on. You know, I wasn't aware of that. Like, it's from early on in everyone's kind of career. I wasn't really aware of that. The amount of Van Halen, the amount of covers Van Halen do, I should say, on albums is really kind of mind blowing. You know, all detailed here in this book. The book is kind of done in timeline format, once again, like that Tin Lizzy book I spoke about before on the channel, which is really cool. It's a nice quick read. You can find facts, you know, by date, by year. They kind of have it broken up into sections, which is really cool. I really like that in the book here. There's a cool photo of Eddie and his Bumblebee guitar, it was called. And I didn't actually realise that that guitar was buried with Dimebag Darrell when he passed away from that shooting incident a couple of years back there. Another interesting fact I found here is Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo on Michael Jackson's track Beat It. Did you know he'd done that guitar solo for free and he had to borrow a guitar amp to do the recording? It's really interesting. That's the sort of stuff you're going to find out in this book here, guys. So David Lee Roth kind of, you know, ends up leaving Van Halen and he kind of goes on a solo career, and Sammy Hagar steps in, and all that stuff is kind of kept track of. Really very well done. You know, solo albums, solo careers, you know, band timelines in and out here, as we're going to see moving forward. Everything kind of falls apart in the 90s then when we move into there. You know, mid 96, Sammy Hagar quits or leaves Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen tries to get David Lee Roth back in again, and sort of it doesn't happen. And then this was absolute news to me. Somebody called Gary Sharon was a singer of Van Halen for, I believe, one album, according to the info in the book here. I wasn't even aware of that at all. I knew of David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar as the two kind of main Van Halen singers. And then, would you believe, Dave and Sammy team up for a tour together in 2002. Unbelievable stuff. Sammy Hagar comes back into the Van Halen lineup in 2004. He's gone. Dave is back in 2006. Eddie Van Halen's son comes in as the bass player to replace the bass player. ever changing kind of lineup as we kind of moved in the 90s into the 2000s. Then super groups, and Sammy owns a bunch of bars. All this stuff is kind of covered very cleverly in the timelines, as I mentioned. 2012 brings us the final studio album of the band, with Dave back on vocals once again. Sammy is doing some solo stuff there towards the end of the book, and there's some random facts. And of course, as I mentioned, Eddie sadly passed away not too long ago, and that's kind of covered in the end of the book here. So lots of great photos, great timeline, memorabilia, t-shirts, ticket stubs, fan photos, promo photos, record covers, album covers, you name it. It's all in this Van Halen, a visual biography. Wymer Publishing, written by Martin Popov. Once again, fabulous book here. They've done a really great job. As I mentioned at the start of the video, if you're kind of an average fan of Van Halen, there's going to be some super cool facts in here. Like I said, as I was going into this book, wasn't aware of a lot of stuff here, and it's a really interesting details and info are in there. And if you're a fan of Van Halen, you're going to see some cool photos and stuff of the band in here as well. So yeah, recommend checking this out if you're a fan of Van Halen, or if you want to have like a cool book, on your coffee table. Can start off a talking piece, if you're having a party and those facts or quizzes come up and you start arguing over the correct answer. You're going to get all your Van Halen info in this book here, Van Halen, a visual biography. That's going to do it for the video, guys. I'll have links in the description if you want to pick up a copy of this book. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't already, click that little bell to get notified every time I post a new video. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next video.